Hey guys, welcome to Silva Podcast. Welcome to one more episode. I'm Fred Silva, and this is the podcast made by an English learner to other English learners to help you to speak English with confidence, with no more fear, with no more hesitation. And today is a special episode because today I will interview a great friend, my teacher, the person that is responsible for my English now. She's amazing. She really helped me to improve my English since I became her student. And you, I know you love this episode. You will learn a lot of new English vocabulary words, advanced expressions, phrasal verbs, idioms, and so much more. So when you see something pop on the screen, it's a new expression. Just look at it and you learn a new advanced English expression that will help you to improve your English too. So before we start, I want to ask you a favor. If you want to help us to grow this channel and show this for more people, to help more people to improve their English, so click the button below, like the video, subscribe in the channel, and this will help us to spread this message to more people all over the world. So I'm so excited about this episode. I'll see you in a minute, and let's jump right into the conversation. Guys, I don't have words to say how happy I am to receive this guest today. For me, it's a great pleasure to have her here. It's my great friend, my teacher, Teacher Tiffany. Welcome, Teacher Tiffany, to Silva Podcast. How are you?
I am wonderful. I feel so honored to be here, Fred, with you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. And hello again to you, Fred. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for accepting my invitation. And
of course.
Guys, today is going to be a great conversation because I'm a fan of this teacher. She is amazing. She helped me so much to improve my English. I'm doing this right now because of her. When I told her about the idea of the podcast, she loved it and she gave me encouragement to do it. So thanks for help me to get more resources and try to improve my English. And this is a great challenge for me. And I am doing this most because your encouragement and your support. Thanks again.
My pleasure. I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you so much. And please, first of all, introduce yourself for those that don't know who you are. Please let them know a little bit about you.
Sure. Hello, everyone. Again, as Fred said, my name is Tiffany. Some people call me Teacher Tiffany, but it's okay. You can just call me Tiffany. I am an English teacher, and I run the Speak English with Tiffany Academy. Some of you might have seen me on YouTube, but if I were to sum up who I am in a nutshell, or in one sentence, I would say I'm someone that is passionate about helping others achieve their goals. I love helping people, and the way I help people right now is by helping them speak English with confidence. That is who I am in a nutshell.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for sharing with us a little bit about you. And since it's 2019, I have been living this. You helped me to improve my English. You are helping a lot of people around the world to improve their English and do amazing things that they are not able to do before. And I'm proud to be part of this. So thanks again. And first of all, tell us a little bit about your story, because I know you are not an English teacher before. Why did you decide to become an English teacher, and when this happened? And tell us a little bit about this story, please.
So I guess, Fred, it's story time.
Yeah, I love it.
So, yes, my story is a very interesting one. My background is actually in IT. I was a web developer, a web designer, and I actually, when I graduated from college a long time ago, I actually started working for NASA. And that usually shocks people, like, you worked for NASA? What happened? Now, my time at NASA was amazing. I had an amazing boss. I had amazing coworkers. But as I mentioned earlier, when I said that I love helping people achieve their goals, I realized that something was missing. When I was working at NASA, I had this strong desire to help people, to do more. I felt like, to be very honest, God had put me on this earth to do more than I was doing, even though I loved my job, even though I loved the people I worked with. And so I quit my job. And again, for those that don't know, I am a Christian. So I was following God's leading, and eventually God led me to go to South Korea. And going to South Korea meant that I was going to become a missionary English teacher. Now, something that's very funny. I've always been a very studious person. I've always loved to learn. I've always loved studying. Growing up, I was always at the top of my class. But something that was unique about me was I always wanted everyone to improve. I wanted everyone to do well. So I wasn't the kid that did well and left others behind. I was the kid that, hey, here's a study sheet. Let's all do well on the test. I've always liked helping people. But my least favorite subject was English. Ironically, when I was in high school, my least favorite subject. Now, I did well. I got A's in the class, but it was my least favorite subject. And at the time, we had computers, but we didn't have the internet. It was a long time ago. So I liked technology for what we had at the time. I liked art. So I liked art and science and creative things. And English just wasn't something that I enjoyed. However, my favorite teacher was my English teacher. So it's kind of ironic. My favorite teacher was my English teacher, but my least favorite subject was English. So fast forward to me going to Korea teaching English. I never would have dreamed that I'd be where I am today. I was just going to help people in Korea speak English, and I wanted to teach them the Bible. But what happened, Fred, was I realized that I enjoyed it. I realized that the way I was teaching my students in Korea was working, and I could see it on their faces, like when they would start speaking English with confidence. And I fell in love with teaching English. And I stayed in Korea for almost about 10 years. And we might get into this story a little bit more. So I'll let you ask me more questions if you want about this part. But right when I was leaving Korea, I got a master's degree in Oriental painting. So I was trying to figure out whether I was going to teach art when I came back to America or continue teaching English on YouTube. Long story short, the Lord again led me to continue teaching English on YouTube. I wasn't making any money, Fred. Maybe $50 a month. It wasn't enough to live off of, especially not in America. Maybe a tank of gas. But I had wonderful parents, and they decided to let me stay with them while I built the business. And came home. I continued teaching English on YouTube, and I started the academy, and that's when I met you. And yeah, the long story in a nutshell, that's what happened. I fell in love with it, and I wake up every day now excited to do what I'm doing. I thoroughly enjoy teaching English. I love that I'm able to do something that I'm not only passionate about, but that I also am good at, and I can touch so many lives. So that's my story in a nutshell.
It's funny because, I'm a Christian too, you know that. Mm-hmm. And in life, we have plans, yes, a lot of plans, but God has his Amen. Own plans.
Amen.
And sometimes it's totally different. As you mentioned, you are working at NASA, a great mm-hmm. work, great boss, a great co-workers. Everything was like good. Yeah. You're happy, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden, God changed your life to a totally different life. And exactly. Now I totally believe that in NASA, you won't help so much people mm-hmm. like you mm-hmm. are doing right now.
I agree.
Your YouTube channel has almost 2 million people there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know that you achieve so much more than that each month, helping them to improve their lives in some way because of English, as you did with me. My life now is totally different than before because I had so much dreams before, but I was like doing something that I was not happy.
Yeah.
After I start to run my own business and start to study with you, I noticed that it's possible to do so much more. And
Yeah.
I run an international business right now. I'm doing this podcast because God has
Yeah.
His own plans for me, has
Amen.
His own plans for you, and this
I'm at
is
church.
really, really amazing. Yeah, it's really
Amen.
amazing, my friend. And
Amen.
I hope people that are watching us now, they can notice that
Mm,
sometimes you don't need to follow the direction you are, but you need to hear what God is saying to you and
exactly.
change the change the path in the way He want, because it's the best way
Exactly.
for us. So
You know, Fred, that's a wonderful point. Again, I think something that I would like everyone to know, again, the students that are already in my academy have heard this before, and you know this about me already. So many students have asked me, Tiffany, something's different about you. Like, there are so many other English teachers, and they are absolutely amazing. I've talked about so many other English teachers online. They said, Tiff, there's something different about you. You just seem happy all the time when you're teaching a class, or I'm watching you on YouTube, but I feel like you're right in my room. And to be very honest, Fred, that's God. There's nothing else that I can say. It's really because I feel like I'm not just an English teacher. I feel like this is literally the calling that God placed on my life. He put me on this earth. He put me in my mother's womb years ago, knowing that, hey, in 2022, you're going to be teaching English to people around the world. So yeah, honestly, I think for those listening, that's really what makes it different for me. It really is my calling and mission in life. That's what I feel it is. And I think, like you said it so well, you may have your own plans, but God is going to lead you in the way He wants you to go. So
yeah, amen, amen. So it's amazing. It's amazing when you follow the God's directions. Everything is going well. As you mentioned before, when you just started, you are not making money.
Mhm.
You are working for free, but you
In the
are
past.
happy. In the
Not
past.
now.
Not now.
In the past. Now I'm doing okay, guys. I'm doing okay now.
But at that time, you are happy because you are doing something to help people, and you know that was the right thing to do. So I'm happy that everything works for you, and now we are talking here, and you are helping a lot of people around the world, and you will continue to do it for a long time.
Yes.
And I'm so happy to be part of that. So
Yes.
going a little bit back about your story, you said that you are in South Korea, you create a YouTube channel there. When you create this YouTube channel, you are in South Korea at that time, or you are back in America?
When I created the YouTube channel, I was actually still living in South Korea. I was still a teacher at an institute that I worked at there. And interestingly enough, I hadn't really thought about creating a YouTube channel. The only reason I thought about creating it eventually, it goes back to what I said at the beginning. My main goal and desire is to help people achieve their goals. And what happened was my boss approached me prior to me starting the YouTube channel. Our institute would set up based on 6 levels. The first 2 levels were for beginner. The second 2 levels were for intermediate. And the last 2 levels were for advanced English learners. And we had quite a few students that went through the entire program. They got to level 6 and they graduated, but they still wanted to study English. So my boss, he knew that I was passionate. I'd been in Korea for about 6 or 7 years at that time. He said, Tiff, I said, hey, what's up? He said, I want to ask you a favor. I said, okay, what's going on? He said, we have these students, but we don't have a curriculum for them. Would you mind creating a curriculum for the students that have already graduated and just teach them something? I said, really? He said, yeah, no rules, whatever you want to do. I said, okay. Now, again, something about me, I have always loved creating plans. I've always loved creating things to break things down. I did it in college, I did it in high school and in grade school. So It wasn't for extra pay. He didn't pay me any extra amount. I just wanted to help. So I created this entire curriculum. I taught every single day for a 2-month period, except for the weekends, to a group of students. I had one lady that was in her 60s or 70s. I had gentlemen that were in their 40s, some in their 30s, women in their 20s. I had all different age groups. And they could all speak English, but even though they had graduated, their English was kind of at different levels. I created this curriculum, and at the end of the 2 months, each and every one of those students was able to give a 10 to 15-minute speech in English with no notes. Oh. Even Americans can't do that. There are many Americans that can't do that. So as I watched them give their final speech at the end of the 2-month period, I was sitting down, but I felt like I had an quote unquote out of body experience where you kind of look at yourself. And I was talking to myself and I said, Tiffany, this is something is here. You've just affected about 10 students. They're able to do something they never knew was possible. You have to help more people. So I decided to put it online. I said, oh, YouTube is free. I can just, the same lessons I taught, I'll just create videos. And my goal was just to help Korean students because I hadn't used YouTube. I knew it was global, but I was in Korea. I spoke Korean. I said, let me just make this for my Korean students. What happened was, as you know, YouTube is a global platform. So I posted the videos and, some views. At the very beginning, 5 people saw it, 10 people. I was like, yes. Then one video, 50 people. I was like, yes, it's this. It's people are watching the videos. And then I started looking at the analytics, not just the number of people, but I started looking at the countries. Now, I expected it to be 99% South Koreans, but it was about 10% South Koreans. Then I saw India. Then I saw Brazil. Then I saw Ghana. And I was like, wait a minute, something's happening. These people are not even in South Korea. And again, I started every week. I posted consistently, just trying to see, hey, I have another lesson. I can teach something. And I started to get messages and people started commenting under the videos. And I realized, oh, I can help more people, not just Koreans. I can help people all over the world using YouTube. So that's how the channel actually got started. I was still in Korea for about a year. And just to explain my schedule, I'm an early bird, which but I get up around 4 a.m. Now I go to bed at 8 p.m. I don't stay up late. I go to bed early and I get up early. So because of that, my last year in South Korea, I took the 6 a.m. class because I was already awake anyway. So I wanted my co-teachers to just sleep and I would take the early classes. I would work from early in the morning to the afternoon, take a short nap and come back in the afternoon and work until around 5 o'clock. Then I'd come home and I'd work on the YouTube videos. The YouTube videos that were not bringing me any money, but they were helping me help people. So I was so happy. I was like, nope, I have to get this lesson. And I'm kind of a perfectionist and I'm a designer. So everything had to be beautiful. Everything had to be in the right place. So I wanted the videos to be good. So I started in Korea and the rest is history.
It's funny you mentioned about the design and about, being perfectionist, because one of the things that caught my attention when I just saw the first video from you, it was how meticulous you are with the details, with the graphics and everything. I got that videos and I got like, man, this is amazing. This teacher is different. As you mentioned, it's different. I don't know why, but something is different on her. And I start to see one video, another video, and on and on. I think I watched all the videos you had at that time. Mm-hmm. It was in 2019. Mm-hmm. So, and I noticed that attention to the details. And I thought you are like very big because you create everything very, very good. I thought you had a team of designers working with you, but it was just you, and you are doing a great job at that time. I got like, man, this is amazing. And I think the first video I saw from you on YouTube was a video that speak about how make long sentences in English. Yeah. That video really caught my attention, and I watched it several times, until I get like that content inside of me. I watch it again and again until I really comprehend everything. at that time, I didn't understand everything in English. I was like trying to understand you because I was not able to understand a native English speaker speaking in a in a video like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a game changer for me when I saw that video, because show me that yes, I can follow a native English teacher and learn something from them, from
Mm-hmm.
he or she, and start to put in practice. So that video for me was like, I think until now is one of my favorites, because it's really special for me. So I love it, that videos.
I like it too.
Tiff, you told me before about when you are in South Korea, you create like a plan, like a curriculum for students, and they achieve great results very fast. Do you know how? Do you know why they achieve that great result? Because some people get months, maybe years, to do like to make like a speech of 10 minutes in English without notes, without any fear. How? What was the main thing? What was the key that you think that really helped them to achieve that?
There were two things. The very first thing was I realized that students, English learners, are not taught how to organize their thoughts in the same way that native English speakers are taught. As I had conversations, because the students were absolutely intelligent. I believe each and every one of my students, including you, my students are all intelligent. So if someone hasn't taught you a skill, there's no way you can apply the skill that you've never been taught. That's what I realized. Oh, these students are amazing. They've just never learned this skill. That was the first thing. And the skill was how to organize your thoughts. You have all of this information in your brain already. All of these words, all of these expressions, idioms, even grammar rules. I don't teach grammar, but they had all of this information in their brains. And no one had ever taught them how to simply take pieces and put them together, like ingredients for a recipe. They didn't know how to take the ingredients and put them together to make a masterpiece, to make a dish that was so amazing. So literally, Fred, I just taught them how to take what was already in their brains, bring it out, and put it in a nice package. And in doing that, again, this is the first thing, in doing that, I had to first help them realize they had everything they needed. Remember, these students had graduated, but because they were not able to express themselves like I was, there was this feeling of inadequacy. They were nervous at times. They didn't feel as confident as they could have been. And that moves to number two. I showed them how to be confident. And that's something as well that I say all the time. My job as an English teacher is to help you be confident in yourself. When you're confident, Fred, no one can tell you anything. You can walk into any room. It doesn't matter who's in that room, and you can speak when you feel confident. So the two things are, first, I help the students learn the skill of organizing your thoughts like a native English speaker. Things that honestly, Fred, my favorite English teacher taught me when I was in high school, when I was 13, 14 years old. When I got to college, I learned these skills, and every single American, and probably British individuals as well, we learned the skill of organizing our thoughts, giving your opinion, supporting it with reasons, giving details. All of these things we learned in school. So I taught my students those skills, and then I encouraged them to have confidence in themselves. I encouraged them like, you're amazing. You can do it. Believe in yourself. So those are the two main things.
Amazing. And I'm part of that, because when I first met you, I think I already have a lot of resources on my mind, to speak English, to use English on a daily basis, to work, to travel, everything. But I was not able to talk in English, not for a few minutes, not even for a few minutes, because I didn't know how organize my thoughts and how express myself in a confident way. So at that time I was struggling with that. And when I first met you and start to study your method, the 5 Ws, and support your opinion in 3 details, 3 reasons. I start to notice, okay, wait a minute. This is the thing that I never learned before.
Mm-hmm.
I never, and it is not about English. This is about organize your thoughts and put the words out of your mouth in a good way that other people can understand, and that you can, convince people, that you can show them that what you're talking about, show them your ideas, your opinion, and everything. When I just got in touch with that method, I got like, this is different, because I never saw something similar in Brazil, in other places. I never saw nothing close to that. And that totally made sense for me. And I start to notice that, okay, I just need to organize my ideas, to organize my thoughts, and start to speak in a way that people can understand, in a way that people can, be a great conversation, as you like to say, like a tennis match. You speak and other people speak, and then it's like a game, not like one person asks, exactly, the other person answer, and the conversation just finished. So
exactly.
And it's good because you talk about confidence. When we are like, now I know how can I express myself. I know if I open my mouth, the other person will understand. So you get like, okay, I can do that. I can speak with other person in English. And you do it once, you do twice, the third time, you start to notice, okay, it's not a big of a deal. I can do it. This happened with me in 2019. And right now, I think a lot of students are doing the same because of you, because your classes are very helpful to make us understand you are intelligent. You have the knowledge. You have the power you need to to speak. And that motivation, my friend, that motivation makes a lot of difference. A lot of difference. In this podcast is about this. It's about give people confidence, make them know that yes, you can do it. You can speak English in a good way. You don't need to be perfect, but you need to know how can express ourselves in a good way, and then the sky is the limit. And I truly know that this one was one of the things that made more difference in my English learning journey. And now we are here speaking in English. And yeah, this is when I stopped to think about that, I think this is really amazing, because I don't know, a few years ago, I didn't even think about I could do that,
Yeah.
I could speak English. It was...
Go ahead, sorry.
No, it was like a thing that I never dreamed before. I not even think about it,
Yeah. It's another thing that is interesting is because of my experience living in South Korea, and I literally was inside of another culture, understanding the language, understanding the culture, I realized that there are many similarities and also many differences. One thing about American culture is the importance of having your own opinion and knowing what you like and what you don't like. And this again goes to what I try to teach all of the students, including with the confidence. In South Korea, part of the culture is if you're younger, you listen to the older individuals. If you're at a company, you listen to what your boss says, what your manager says. Again, nothing wrong with culture at all. We are from all different countries around the world, and that's what makes it beautiful. So when a student comes to learn English, if their idea is, oh, in my country, in my culture, my opinion is not important right now, I need to listen to the opinion of someone that's older than me, or my boss, or my manager, right? That shows, quote unquote, confidence in their culture, right? This is what but when they learn English, immediately it's like, oh, let me just do the exact same thing. So it's like teaching, hey, well, in English is totally different. Our culture is the exact opposite. What do you like? What don't you like? And that's something that I really try to teach and instill in individuals. And I think that's another thing that is the click. This is the third thing, the click that happens. Like, oh, wait a minute. I can have an opinion. I should express myself. And I've mentioned this before. It starts at a very young age in America. My niece, she's 6 right now. But when she was 2 years old, whenever I saw her, I'd ask her, how was your day? Really? Why was it good? Oh, really? Tell me 3 things you did. Oh, and this is not because I'm a teacher. This is literally how Americans are. From the time you are young, you're asked about your opinion. Support your opinion. Why do you think that? Good point. Like, so when I realized that, again, it had nothing to do with my students' intelligence. It had nothing to do with the number of words they knew or didn't know. One of the main things was helping them understand how culture affects your understanding of a language. So I wanted to add that one to the 2. So yeah, it really makes a big difference.
Totally. Hands down, I totally agree with you. And you were talking, and I remember that when I was a kid, for those that don't know, I'm from Brazil. And in Brazil, when I was a kid, it was like that. Mm-hmm. Kids don't say what they want, what they like, what they don't like. As a kid, we don't have the opportunity to talk. If an adult is talking, you shut your mouth and be quiet. Mm-hmm. I just saw the difference when I was at the university, because teachers say, what do you think about this, Fred? What is your opinion about that, Fred? I was like not prepared to open my mouth and speak in Portuguese. I was not able to do that because my culture was, when I was a kid, was shut your mouth, don't say what you want, don't say that you don't like of something. And this really affects our way that we learn something. Not just about English, about everything, because you are not able to express yourself. You are raised to just agree with what other people are saying. And when you say that, totally makes sense for me, because in American culture it's different. It's different. So if you are learning English, you need to be in touch with the culture. You need to be. We need to know how a lot of things about the country and the culture and how people live there, how they express themselves, how they communicate themselves between them, because these make difference. If you are learning Korean, for example, and you don't know about the culture, maybe you will learn, but you will not be part of the language. You will not live the language as you could, because you don't know about culture. You don't know about the people that live there, about their own things. So I totally believe that to learn English, you need to be immersed in the country. You don't need to travel to the country. I never traveled to America, but you need to know how that people speak, how that people think, what they like, what they don't like. What's the difference between my culture and their culture? I need to be more immersive in that culture to be prepared to talk with them and speak in a very good way. So in my opinion, culture is one of the most important things that we can learn before learning English, or together. When you are learning, you need to be immersive in that culture. And speaking about that, you are in South Korea, you learn the Korean language that I think is a really hard language to speak. Mm-hmm. Did you bring something to your method because of you learn Korean? Did you get something from their culture that you can apply to your method?
Interesting question. So because I had to learn Korean, and I started learning Korean when I was 27. So That also helped me to understand what my students go through. It's a very challenging thing to start studying a language when you're an adult. When I started studying, the people in my class were 16, 17, 18 years old. They were very young. But what happened to me was, again, I've always loved learning. So in the beginning, okay, sure, memorize words, no problem. Memorize expressions, no problem. You want me to memorize this grammar rule? Sure, no problem. At the beginner's level, no problem. Intermediate, okay, things are changing a little bit. I was still able to memorize, right? But at the upper intermediate level, leading to the advanced level, that's when I hit a brick wall. I was studying the books. I was studying in class. I was memorizing, learning things for tests. But whenever I would go to speak with my Korean friends, they'd say, Tiff, you can speak Korean. You can understand us. But when you speak, you sound like a book. You don't sound like us. I said, really? I said, I studied so hard. They were like, yeah, but we don't use that word, or we don't really use that expression. And the more I heard it from my friends, and again, they were trying to help me, I realized, okay, something is wrong. It's not that books are bad, but I realized you get to a certain point in your language journey, like learning a language, where you have to, for lack of a better term, stop studying books. Like you have to stop studying books and you need to start studying real life Korean, real life English, right? So at that moment, I was still in class, so I still studied, but I started studying my friends more. When they would have conversations, I would listen closely. I would mimic. I would use the exact same words they were using. Whatever expression they used, okay, they're happy right now, they said this. Okay, they're sad right now, they said this. When I watched Korean dramas, I would pay attention to the conversations more. And I would break down, hey, he said this and her response was like this. I started to break things down in my mind so that I could start sounding more natural. And over time, my friends said, hey, you sound like us now. Like they started noticing that my Korean was changing. And it felt good. I'm not going to lie. It felt good because all of this analyzing that was happening in my brain was working. So to answer your question, did my Korean language learning journey affect my teaching? 1,000% yes. I have two main programs. One is the daily English lessons membership, where I have 365 lessons every day of the year to help students. But my other program is for advanced students, upper intermediate and advanced students, the Speak English Like a Native membership. And this program, I literally have applied, and I continue to apply it every month, the 5 steps I used to learn Korean and start speaking like a native. You have to listen to real conversations. Get out of the books and listen to real conversations. You have to learn the words and expressions that natives are actually using. I was learning things from the book. My friends were telling me, Tiff, we don't say that. And it happens all the time as well. My students, when I was in Korea, and my advanced students that became friends, they would use a word and I said, yeah, I know that word, but I've never used it in a conversation. And I could see their frustration. I said, hey, you can't just learn English words from books. Learn them from real English speakers. So again, step 2, learn the words and expressions natives are actually using in conversations, not just from an English lesson, in a conversation. This third step is what is the key, and it's helped my students, including you, the analyze step, step 3. Analyzing, this is the skill that many English learners have not been taught before, because as native English speakers, it's so ingrained in us that many times teachers don't even think about breaking it down to the students because it's so second nature to us. But analyzing the conversation, I teach students how to analyze a conversation to see, oh, here's the question, here's how you respond, here's a formula you can follow. The fourth part is to apply. We create formulas, and students can learn a formula that helps them sound like a native speaker. And then the last, taking action, using what you've learned. So yes, those 5 simple steps, again, listen, learn, analyze, apply, and action, came from my experience finally learning how to speak Korean like a native.
Amazing. And guys, by the way, the links are in the description. believe me, it will change your life. If you have the chance, don't think about it, just do it, because believe me, her programs are amazing. So if you want to take a look, right below in the description, and get your spot if you have the chance. Tiff,
Mm-hmm.
you spoke about something very interesting when you were in South Korea. That five steps, okay? You just create that observing people, and thinking about, okay, I can use this, I can use that, and because you like plans, you like organized things, you just break down that in kind of a method. And did you try this in South Korea before move to America, or you just do it after you come back to America?
Wow, that's a great question. So it's very interesting. So I've always created plans, and I had this vision in my brain, in my mind, ever since I came back from Korea. But I didn't have the steps. I didn't have the concrete steps just yet. It was like my brain was still trying to figure out, how do I transfer everything I've done to my students? So it took me quite a while to make it simple. I think one thing that I try to do is always make something complex simple. No matter how complex something is, hey, I can teach you how to do it, how to accomplish, how to achieve this goal using simple steps, using a simple method. So it was always in my mind, but it took me a while to get it broken down into simple steps that I could explain it to students. So I'll be very honest. I think it took me a solid 2 years to really organize it in my mind, putting it down on paper. I have tons of notebooks. I'm saving all of them so that later on when I have children, or later on if somebody else is running a business, they want to see my notes. I have tons of notebooks with my ideas and kind of like mind maps. I've written everything down, drawn pictures, and try to figure out how can I explain these things to my students to where they make sense. So in my mind, yes, for about 2 years. But to be very honest, just within the last 9 months, maybe the last 9 months. Right now, the way the program is, perfect. It literally, like I literally tell you a quick story. There are many students in the program, but there are about 2 individuals that within about 2 months of following the steps, they literally were able to speak English with confidence, able to sound like a native English speaker, because they realized the simple steps actually work when you put them into practice. And it doesn't take a long time. So, yeah.
I understand what you said. Before it was like in your mind, but you didn't organize and send to the students like, this is the steps you just need to follow. And when I look at these steps in the course, it's really simple to follow. 5 steps. You don't need to jump. Just follow the sequence. And especially, as you mentioned, especially step number 3, when you have this skill to analyze the conversation and know, okay, this is the way I can communicate. I need to organize my thoughts like this to be more natural. And I can see the students are getting so much better than before, because they start to sound like you. They start to speak like you. And I know you for a while. I know the patterns you use to communicate. And the students start to do the same. And it's really clear for us to understand them, because the communication is not confused. It's clear. There are a path they are following. It's really simple to understand. And 5 steps is something that you can touch, you can get. It's really easy to follow.
Exactly. And it makes me happy, Fred, honestly, every time I see a student or listen to a student answer a question or speak about a certain topic, and I hear them use an expression or hear them give some supporting information. I'm like, oh yeah. I get excited. excited. Like, to be honest, I feel like a mom watching her children flourish and achieve their goals. And it truly makes me smile. It makes my heart smile because I see the students having confidence in themselves. And that really makes me happy. So.
Yeah, you're like a mom for us.
I love it. I love it.
So, right now, what do you think is the biggest challenge for the students around the world, people that are looking for, to speak English because they need to speak English at work, they need to get a better job, they need to pass in an interview, they need to travel or, study abroad. What do you think is the biggest challenge they face that if they overcome could be so much better than their lives could be so much better?
Wow. This is a great question. I think there are two things. The first thing is confidence. I think that there are many English learners around the world, and I'll speak to the ones listening to or watching this interview. When you're by yourself, when you're alone, you have your own thoughts. And I've had so many conversations, Fred, and taught so many students, and I don't care what level they're at, beginner, intermediate, advanced. I've heard this over and over again. Oh, my English isn't good. Oh, I make mistakes. Oh, I'm sorry about my English. And I hear it over and over and over again. And I feel like that's the first major block for so many students. This feeling of inadequacy. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, my English is not good. If I speak in English, they're going to think I'm horrible. That right there, the moment I can get that thought and pull it out of your mind, it is like watching a transformation happen overnight. I love watching that happen. I've seen it happen so many times. Students come, oh, sorry, Tiffany, my English is not good. Now, I'm going to say exactly what they say to me, Fred. Oh, Tiffany, I'm sorry, my English is not good. I've only been studying for a few years, and I know that everything they just said to me was perfect English. And I'm just listening to them. And I say to them, you do realize you're speaking to me in English. You do realize you're understanding what I'm saying. Yes, Tiffany, but I've made mistakes. If I can just break people out of that, because I see so much potential in every student, every single student, I don't care what level they're at. If I can get them to be confident in themselves, whoo, Fred, the sky's the limit. There's nothing they cannot do. They can fly. They can do whatever they want. So again, for every English learner around the world, no matter what their level is, no matter what country they're from, number one, getting confidence in themselves. And number two, this is a big one as well, consistency. What has happened is I've spoken to so many students, and we just did a launch a few weeks ago. And I asked students, how long have you been studying English? Some people said 1 year. Others said 2 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. That's a long time to study one subject. And in the midst of those years, you have people feeling frustrated, bored. You get bored. It gets boring, right?
I know that.
Right. And bored, frustrated, overwhelmed because there's so much to learn. Because of that overwhelm and the frustration, they start, stop. Excited, motivated, not motivated anymore. I'll just speak my own language. When I get a student into my program, whether it be the daily English lessons or the Speak English Like a Native, if I can just get them to be consistent, hey, just follow the plan. I promise you, you will see results. I haven't had any student that has followed the plan and not seen results. So the challenge is when you have someone that over and over has been frustrated, beaten down, nervous, feeling bad, and then you tell them, hey, just study a little bit more and you'll reach your goal. They're like, no. Why is your program any different? I've been doing this for years. And in my head, I'm saying, but you haven't studied with me yet. You haven't studied this program. I promise if you're consistent, you'll see results. So first, helping individuals realize that they have what it takes and to be confident. And second, when you're consistent, when you're following, correction, when you have the right plan and you're consistent, you will see results. So helping people overcome those two things, helping them be more confident and helping them be consistent.
Wow, I love the answer. And I can see this every single day. First, when you're not confident, I saw students all the time when they just start in the daily English lesson membership or in the Speak English Like a Native course. I saw that in the classes they say, "Oh, my English is not good. Sorry about my English. My English is broken." I got like, "Man, you are speaking English.
Yeah,
you are speaking English. You don't need to be you don't need to apologize because you're speaking another language. This is awesome." And they are even that body language is like, "Oh, my English is not good," as you mentioned. And when they notice that you are speaking in English, they got like, "Yes, I am speaking in English. I can do it." So they transform themselves in another person. Like, "Okay, I can do that," and they just fly. It's amazing. And this is a trap for a lot of people. A few days ago, I saw a podcast of a Brazilian entrepreneur.
Yeah,
He's big. He is a millionaire. He's an amazing guy. He has a YouTube channel about financial. He has, I don't know, 10 million subscribers on YouTube. He's a very big guy. And he was interviewing an international author. I think the guy was an entrepreneur as well. And the Brazilian guy, a really confident guy, the first word he said in the interview, he was the host. He was interviewing the other person. The first words he said was, "Sorry about my broken English." I got like, man, you don't need to apologize yourself. So come on. And I noticed that this is a trap not just for beginners, but for everybody when you are outside of your comfort zone. So it's tricky. You need to be out of that. So great point.
Yeah.
The second point, consistency. I see this all the time. I received a message a few days ago from a student. I think it's from Daily English Lesson Membership. She was asking me, "Fred, I'm stuck. I want to improve, but I don't know what I can do." I said, "Did you follow the plan?" I start to follow, but follow the plan. I promise you, follow the plan, and everything's gonna be okay. You will learn. But they don't want to. They are motivated at the beginning, but when the first challenge comes, they start to doubt about themselves. They start to be like, "Oh, I don't know if I can spend an hour studying, so I don't have time," and they put excuses, and then they don't get consistent. So, and their English doesn't get better. And all the time I said, follow the plan, just follow the plan. I'm repeating that as you do, because I totally believe that if you follow the plan, you will improve. It's impossible you don't improve if you follow a great plan every single day. Even if you don't have time, you can get 50 minutes, you can get 10 minutes, but do it, and you see the results. And this is, I'm happy that you're touching this point, because I see this all the time. Every single day, I see the same pattern with people that I speak with, and every single place I am related to English, I see this kind of pattern, and this is really tricky for students. And guys, if you are here, don't do that anymore. Don't apologize yourself because you are making mistakes. I'm making mistakes right now a lot. I know that, but I don't care because I'm improving. I am learning about my mistakes. So I think you need to learn about your mistakes. Mistakes are good. You need to like that. You don't need to continue to do the same thing, the same mistakes again, but they are great teachers, great teachers to make you improve your English or wherever you are learning.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
You're not making a lot of mistakes. I wanted to say that because I heard you say it before. I was like, you're not making a lot of mistakes.
Thank you so much.
It's interesting when you don't focus on your mistakes, you actually stop making mistakes. That's another thing.
Exactly.
As a teacher, it's like a psychological thing. When you stop focusing on them, you actually stop making them. And I've watched, again, we are friends now, and I'm your teacher too, but we're friends, and I've watched you change so much and improve so much. And the moment you stopped focusing on your mistakes, they slowly started going away. So, yeah.
Good. That's true. That's true. Don't focus in our mistakes. Because I think that the thing you focus will grow. If you focus on the mistakes will grow. If you focus in your improvement, in your communication, it'll be better. It'll be so much clear. You will get an improvement. So focusing
Exactly.
the thing that is really important for you. Don't focus in something that won't take you to the level you want.
Exactly.
Good. So, my friend, I'm so happy to have you here. We are almost finished. I love to talk to you all the time, and I think 10 podcasts like this won't be possible to speak about everything I want to talk to you, but we don't have this time, unfortunately. But I want to ask you to give the people, the students, or whatever who are watching us now or listening to us now, if you have the chance to give just one tip or just one advice to the students that can let them go to another level and change their lives forever, what that advice could be?
3 words. Believe in yourself. I don't care what level you are, beginner, intermediate, advanced, it does not matter. You have to believe in yourself. This is honestly the key. I can teach you tons of words. I can teach you tons of expressions. I can teach you about American culture. But if you don't believe in yourself, it won't mean anything at all. But when you start believing in yourself, you'll be amazed how fast you will improve. So starting today, believe in yourself. Realize that you're better today than you were yesterday, and tomorrow you'll be better than you are today. When you believe in yourself, you'll be able to achieve each and every one of your English goals. So 3 words, believe in yourself.
Wow, I love it. Amazing. And how can I believe in myself? Please tell me.
So, I think it honestly comes down to, first, we all have that little voice in our head telling us, hey, you can't do that. Hey, you made a mistake. Hey, come on. Are you like, we all have that little voice in our head. You have to silence that voice, and you have to push that voice out of your mind. That voice is going to be there. In order to believe in yourself, you have to remove those thoughts and replace those thoughts with other thoughts. Like, wait a minute. No, I can do it. Look at how far I've come. 2 years ago, I couldn't say hello. Now I can say, hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you? Nice. Like, think about your accomplishments. The other thing is, teach somebody else. There's something that happens when you help somebody else. And this is still an answer to your question, how can I believe in myself? When you change someone else's life, it actually has a direct effect on you. For example, me. I told you before, I love helping people. The more I help people and the more I see other people getting results, the more I believe in myself as a teacher. Tiff, you are doing something good. Tiff, you are helping people. Keep going. Tiff, get up tomorrow earlier. Figure out another way to help the students. Why? Because when you helped Fred yesterday, when you helped Jocelyn yesterday, when you helped Paola, when you helped Robert the other day, you saw how much confidence they had. Keep doing it, Tiff. So silence the voice in your head that is telling you you can't do something. And second, teach someone what you learn. When you learn a new word, immediately teach someone. Help someone else with their English, and that will actually help you believe in yourself.
I don't have words. I'm speechless because I was not expecting that. And I totally agree with you. And guys, that voice inside of your head is not God. It's just your brain trying to keep you at the same place you are. So this is important to know that if you silence that voice and start to put another voice inside of your head, things will get better. And this is not we're not talking about just motivation. You need to, if you do that, stop the negative thoughts and stop to say something negative about you. Start to believe in yourself first. You can move forward little by little and get better, because this happened to me. I was not able to speak English for even a minute. But when I noticed that, yes, I can do that. I'm intelligent. I'll do it. That I start to, okay, I did. Nothing happened. I'm alive. I don't I didn't die because I do that. I can do something better. And then I was improving. And when you talk about teaching, this is interesting because since the beginning, I was trying to help other people. Right now, this podcast is about helping people too. So, and it's another level that of a thing that I started to do before. When I saw, just a little story, when I noticed that I could speak English in a video, because I did that before with Spanish, I got like, okay, let's do it. I did. And then I started to encourage other students to do the same. And when they do for the first time, they got, wow, I can do it. And they don't stop to talk it again. So I noticed that, okay, I'm not an English teacher, but I can help other people too. And when I did that, I start to gain more confidence in myself, and I start to get better and better and better. And now I am here. So it's interesting you talk about that, because it was my journey.
So you can trust your teacher.
Exactly. My teacher is amazing.
No, I'm just playing. No, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't know you had that in the
No, I was just saying that this is a thing that if you know that, if you are aware that this is how it works, if you silence that voice, you get better. If you get what you know, even if you're not a lot of things, but you can teach somebody else about that. You can share your knowledge with somebody else. You will start to gain more confidence in yourself, and you will start to get more prepared to achieve better things, because it's like a ladder. You start to how can I say? You start to climb step by step. As much you do, as much you will improve, and more higher you will go. So just these two tips, if we stop right now, I think people will, if they just follow these two tips, they will be so much better in their English and in their lives too, because it's not just about English. Everything in life, you can apply these two steps or these two tips. And thank you for sharing with us. I really appreciate that. I think people will be benefit because of this simple but valuable advices.
No worries. My pleasure.
Well, Tiff, I want to say thanks so much for being here with me today. I'm so honored to be a student. I'm so honored to be, part of your friends. And God is really good because God put us together. And I think everyone can achieve great things in life if they stay close to good people that want to help, people that want to do something more.
Yeah.
And you are that kind of person. To be honest, you have one of the. I think you are one of the person that I know that has the most biggest heart I already saw.
Oh,
You're
thank
very
you.
generous, and I know you for a while, and I can see that students notice that when they get in touch with you. You are very you care about people, and this is one of the most important things
Thank you.
in English or whatever you are doing. If you care about people, you
Yeah.
will help them, and you will be successful, because it's impossible to help people to do great things and you don't achieve your goals. So I'm so honored to have you here. Unfortunately, 1 hour really passed very fast. I'm
Yeah.
fly, but
Yeah.
I think people, those that watch this episode, and not to watch, but put in practice what you teach us today, they will
Yeah.
achieve their goals. And guys, once more, if you want to become her student, uh, if you have the chance, do it, because you will see. Just do it, because you will see how much your English is going to be better, how much you improve, not just your English, but your communication.
Mm.
It's a thing that it's impossible to talk. You need to see. So I want to uh, give you the space to talk about the course, and speak a little bit more for those that don't know what it is and what's better for each of them. If it's better to get the daily English lessons, or if it's better to get the speak English like a native. So please.
All right. Well, everyone, I know hopefully you enjoyed this conversation so far. Fred and I talk almost every day, so it's very natural for us to continue. I'll give a brief breakdown of both programs. Hopefully, as you're listening to this, or as you've listened to this conversation, you see that I'm very passionate about helping each and every one of my students. So I have two main programs. One is the Daily English Lessons membership, and the other is the Speak English Like a Native membership. Now, to be very honest, I have quite a few students in both programs. So if you want to be in both, hey, come on to the family. It's okay. The Daily English Lessons membership, the main thing is if you are at the intermediate level and you've been stuck there for a long time and you want to speak with confidence, you want to be more consistent, this is the program you need, because this program includes literally lessons for every single day of the year, plus a ton of bonuses. But I literally created this program to help you understand more of the fundamentals of English when it comes to vocabulary, American culture, conversation skills. So many different things are included. And I literally have spent, to be very honest, years working on this to get it to where it is right now. And it literally will help you be consistent. You don't have to worry about any other English books at all. You literally will learn exactly what you need by coming to this program every single day, about 15 minutes on average. Sometimes the lessons are shorter and sometimes they're longer. But every day you have a lesson that I've created specifically for you to help you finally speak English with confidence. And for the student that is like, hey, Tiffany, I'm upper intermediate, or I'm an advanced English speaker, and maybe I work with international clients, or I feel like I want to get to the next level and you want to start sounding like me and you have the fundamentals already down, the Speak English Like a Native program is for you. Again, it's not for beginners and it's not for the beginner intermediate at all. It's a very effective program if you are ready at the upper intermediate and the advanced level, because I mentioned earlier the 5 steps. Again, first one, listen. Second one, learn. Third, analyze. Fourth, apply. And last, action. Each month, there's a brand new topic. Each month, you watch a real conversation between native English speakers. In that month, you learn every word and expression that was used during that conversation. You'll be able to analyze the conversation. I analyze it. I have a video lesson where I break it down so you understand how Americans think. Every single month, you get a brand new conversation. There's a class where you can practice what you're learning. There are also daily practice video lessons in our Telegram group. So again, if you really want to start sounding like a native and you want the 5 steps and you're upper intermediate or advanced, that's the Speak English Like a Native program. But if you're lower intermediate and you just want to get the confidence and consistency and you're tired of buying so many books, you want one program, that's all you need, the Daily English Lessons membership is for you.
Guys, link in the description, click there. And just one more thing. If you are still confused about what is the best for you, think about it. If you are understanding us right now, what we are talking without no difficult, but you can't speak. You are like, okay, I can understand, but I can put the words out. Go to Daily English Lesson membership. I did that the same when I just started. But if you, okay, I can talk in English. I can express myself, but I can't express myself in a good way. Like I'm not, I need to organize my thoughts. I don't know how can get better. I need to use English at work. Go to Speak English Like a Native course, because that course is prepared for you that already speak English, but you need to go to another level. So both are amazing, but depend the level you are of understanding and using the language is best for you to get one or another. So both are good, but think about it. If you understand but can talk, Daily English Lesson membership. If you can speak but want to go to the highest level you can do, Speak English Like a Native is the best for you. Am I right?
Yeah, I think you just said what I said. I said he's just emphasizing it.
Yes.
You can tell we're friends, guys.
So Tiff, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate our conversation. And if you want to say something else, please.
Nope, I think I said everything. I think they got all the information. And again, just believe in yourself, guys. You can do it.
That's it. You can do it. Guys, I hope you like this episode. If you like, click the button below, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget that you can do it. Just do it, and you will be better day by day. So see you the next episode. Thanks again, Tiff. Talk to you later.
No worries. Thanks again. Bye,
Bye-bye.
friend. Bye-bye.